everyone, nice to see you. So this is Anya Divine here, and I'm doing, this is the last week for the landscape course, and I'm going to work from this photograph of some boats that I took. I had thought that I might work from the sketch, but I think I'm going to allow the sketch to work on me, and I'm going to use the photo I took on the day that I did that painting of these 3 boats that were on land that appealed to me. And I was telling myself there, I'm not at all sure of myself here now. But then I suppose that's a kind of a natural thing, like I'm never really sure of what's going to happen. And the thing that makes me feel not sure of myself is having a particular outcome in mind, I suppose. Whereas if I'm going in quite open, then we'll see. The truth is I'm feeling a little bit flat today, or not even today, just in the last few minutes really. I had a swim at Gladhouse and that was fantastic at the reservoir, and a lovely bowl of soup after. And but there is a certain kind of maybe a slight heaviness in me, and I'm kind of just going to see how it goes. It feels like quite a big, I've put 2 pieces of paper together, and on a day like you know, when I'm feeling like this, I'm not sure if I'm setting myself up for something huge, you know, but I'm just gonna test the water with it really and see how it goes. There's a seam down the middle because I put 2 pieces of paper together, and I love the composition of this photograph. I'll post it on Facebook on the 30 Days of Art with Anya Facebook page, and if you're watching this and you want the photograph, just get in touch with me and I'll put you onto that page. Okay, so I like the three boats. Like the central one is quite tall. I've got a painting of that on its own actually, and then the other 2 are lower down. I've got a few photos so that I do have the whole lot of the second boat, which is cut off in this picture, the boat on the right. So I quite like that, you know, the fact that there's this tall one in the centre. And because there's a seam in the centre, I thought I might put some collage there. And I think I will actually start with that. I had decided to draw first, then with the Indian ink. Well, maybe I'll do that, just to have an idea of the position of things. So this is watered down Indian ink and kitchen paper. So just for me to capture the composition, I suppose, before going into collage or any other media. And my eyes are half closed here. I want to capture I want to find the darks and lights really, to locate where the darkest bits are and the ground under the boat there. Just secure that. And I would like the mast to be in the picture. And then there's something sticking up there as well. There's other carry-on back here that belongs in a harbour, I guess. And I did want to get the full boat that's there too, so I'm drawing it closer. I might end up making it a little bit smaller all around, but I quite like that boat, so I'll pull it even closer, I think. Yeah, I'm going to bring this one so that it's further down, so I get the full length of the mast. So what's happening here now is I'm creating the composition as I'm drawing it. And this is a forgiving medium, the watered down Indian ink. I've created a drawing tool with the paper towel. And the fact is that it's allowing the evidence of the working out to be there. And I'm kind of happy enough with that the working out of it is going to be visible. I think there's something too about a harbour scene that's you know, there'll be things that are weathered and textured by the weather, and so I think it's no harm to, in fact it's to be encouraged really, to inject as much texture, planned or otherwise, like, into the thing. And the unplanned textures will be the ones that are most exciting probably, because none of the textures on these boats were planned, were they? So anyway, so I'm drawing this boat a bit closer to it, and I'll see in the next photograph there's the full. I'm going to just look at that because I want to see the other side of that boat so that I know. I remember thinking, oh, that's quite nice. Yeah, so there's a longer bit. The second photograph was taken late at night, but it's like it was taken after I finished. You see what I'm doing there? Yeah, the second photo was taken after I finished my painting, and it was quite late. So it's dark, but actually it's maybe a good one for me to do the drawing from. Okay, I'm actually reducing the size of that again so that it'll be close enough to the scale, and that I'm not changing things too much for myself, which might make it tricky. Anyway, so that's where that other boat is going to be, in there, but don't let me go too far that way so that I cut it off. I want to have the full boat in there. It strikes me that actually this boat could be further to the left. Now that I'm working from a different photograph, I guess that boat could be slightly off centre, but I want it to be central, don't I? Because I want the mast to be along the line of it, maybe. Well, we'll see. So the third boat, which I'm not so interested in, but I think is equally important because of the composition. I'm going to locate that there then. And I'd say the windows in the cabin, and that will be the thing that will describe that boat most easily to me. Am I standing in front of you the whole time? Right, so that's the photo I'm working from, and I'll just focus you mostly on this for now. Okay, this is black and white Indian ink on a paper towel, watered down. It's about 50-50 Indian ink and water, maybe even 70-30 to the water. I'm just getting the rough shape of that cabin. Boats are strange things, you know, they take on funny shapes. You wouldn't want to get too involved with them. Okay, so I suppose the thing I might do first, before putting on the collage, I had some collage prepared there, but I reckon the thing I maybe do before doing the collage is to lob something on for that sky. Yes, I will. I'll put something on for the sky. I might even turn the painting upside down. So I've got a palette down here with a mixture of cerulean blue and ultramarine blue, and I think what I'll do is I'll turn the painting upside down, because it looks to me like it's a bit darker where the sky meets the boats, and yeah, I just feel like it's okay to just turn it upside down. I'll define the sky this way. It's quite dark in there. This isn't really the colour that the sky is, and there'll be house over there. It's just to inject something bluish. To inject something bluish that'll read as sky. I think when it's watered down, or when the background is when the background white is merged with it, it reads a bit more as sky then. So that was a dry piece of paper towel that was watered down ultramarine blue and what was it? Watered down ultramarine blue and cerulean blue. It needs to go up there really. There needed to be a swipe of cloud there, like. Okay, you might find that some of the colours in this lot, I've got a whole box of fairly cheap acrylic here, and some of the colours in there might work for the sky too. I think it has a slightly more purplish quality to it, something a bit more like that. I'm using a dry brush and just cross hatching here and there. With the 1 inch brush. Alright, I'm going to leave that for now. And yeah, I suppose I may as well do something for the ground now too. Like the ground looks a bit grey there. I think I want to make it a little bit richer, or else I could use some collage to give it some interest. But no, I think first I'll start with a brownish colour. So here's sienna. I mean, I feel like this is a colour. Gee, Chris, I just splashed it onto the floor. I feel like this is a colour that's quite harbour-like, isn't it? I think that's quite a good colour. Maybe mixed with some of the Indian ink. Yeah. Mixed with the Indian ink, it reads more as the colour that's actually there, doesn't it? I'm half closing my eyes so that, again, I'm really focusing mostly on just the darks and lights, and trying to establish something for the sky, something for the land, something for the foreground. And when I say something for the land, I mean the boat's included in that. Yeah, really we're just wanting to get something done that can be a foil for the boats. What have I got now here? It's a kind of a blue-grey almost. I mixed it with some of the sky colour. I'd say I might end up using collage only in little bits here. I had intended first putting a big glob of collage on there for the... Well, I'll show it to you, look. It was going to be a dark bluish colour there. I think I might do that, seeing as I've got the glue on it now. Yeah, sure, for goodness sake. I could just tear bits of it off, because it was actually a little bit big, I reckon. Not sure if it feels like that boat very much to me, especially with this pink showing through. So I'll give it more the shape of that boat at least. We'll see then. Yeah, I could always add in some of the actual ultramarine blue paint there. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to do my usual business of masking off, so that I don't have to worry too much about working over that background there. Alright, let's see. Oh, I'm a little bit stiff. I didn't do my yoga today, maybe that was an issue. So there's some Van Dyke brown now I'm going to mix in with the ultramarine blue to take the blueness out of it. It's a bit dark, it's a bit blue, that colour, so I wanted to knock some of the colour out of it and make it read more as grey blue. So the Van Dyke brown serves as grey blue. So there's some, it serves to knock the blueness out of it, sorry. The Van Dyke brown starts to knock the blueness out of it. What I was going to say as well, that there is some tissue paper on top of the collage that I've just stuck on, because that tissue paper made it a bit darker as well, and I kind of liked that it was coming up in points at the front there, a bit like how the boat is coming up. It's directly pointed. I don't know if this needs to be pointed too. I'm going to pull it off. Okay, that feels better to me for some reason. Like the bottom triangle is actually, to put some glue on there, the bottom triangle is actually a brown rather than a blue, really. Okay, I'm just sticking some glue underneath the bits that I've torn. I prefer the torn edge to the very sharp edge at the bottom of the boat there. And then it's going to be darker underneath, so this will actually be, this colour will be a blue brown again. That's what I'm going to use. And what this colour is going to do is actually, I keep saying actually, what this colour is going to do is it's going to meet the lighter colour that represents the pointed end of the boat. So it's helpful to note which colour is lighter and which is darker, the background or the thing you're painting. You can always deepen the tone there later on, and it doesn't really come to that fine a point. But sure, there is a dark line down the centre there, and there's where the blue stops and the brown starts. There, and to emphasise that, I might just use a little bit of collage to describe the brownish bit. Might be that simply brown paper. Well, that's bright now, isn't it? It's a bit bright, I think. I want something thin and dark there. thinner and darker at least. And maybe you can have a pattern on it. I'm going to tone with this, aren't I? A small little detail. I'll just leave it like that. Something anyway. Okay, so I'll keep standing back. Good idea to stand back often. When I stood back there, the first thing I wanted to do was to create less of an edge there where that dark meets the rest of the ground. Okay, and I'll put a bit more blue on the boat there. I'm going to take off that now and see, is it beginning to read as boat? I was looking at the masking tape as though it was part of the boat, so I've made that bigger, really. And this little bit could also tear off. Do you know what? I'm after taking a whole lot off there, but sure, I'd say I could just add it on for the bit out there that needs lower and wider. I'll just put that bit that I tore off on there. It was looking a little bit more upright than I wanted it to. I'm sure I could do the same with the other side. I wouldn't be recommending using the same brush that you paint with for your glue, but for the purposes of speed, that's what I am doing here. All in the name of weatherment, giving it a weathered feel. Do you know, I was over in the storehouse after going for my swim at Collage this morning. I went to the storehouse in Pennycook for some soup. The storehouse in Pennycook does very good soup. And in walked a couple of cyclists. One of them was cycling all the way from Land's End to John O'Groats, or the other way around, from the bottom to the top of the country, whichever that is. Sorry for my ignorance there. And then he's doing it for charity, and his friend had joined him. He had friends joining him all along the way. He said it was great, and we had a great old chat. Lovely. And he, in the storehouse, you always meet lovely people, and there's a guy in there called Angus MacNeacall, and he is a poet, a Gaelic speaking poet, and so the guys recorded him reading one of his poems for their video diary. So the second guy that was with them, and so the man that's doing it is called David Blanchard, I think, and his friend was called Steve, as far as I know. Steve was going to be leaving him in Edinburgh tonight, so he was going to be on his own, and all the rest of the way up to Land's End, it is, isn't it? Land's End. So if you know of anybody who's a keen cyclist or even mildly interested in cycling, because this guy never cycled before. He didn't realise he had 15 gears at the beginning. He said he thought he had only 5 for the first 2 days. So it's a great spirit. Anyway, if you know anyone in the Perth area, he's going to be cycling up there tomorrow. And if you look up Rosie Mays, the charity he's doing this for, if you look up Rosie May on Facebook, you should be able to find him. I found it a bit hard to get. There is a Facebook page, I think. Anyway, he's cycling from Edinburgh up to Perth tomorrow. So we had a great old chat. Wow. I ended up staying there until 3 o'clock. I think I was being lazy and kind of putting off this. Well, there's talk of being lazy, and actually it's just slightly scared, of doing a bad job or something. And like Julia Cameron says in The Artist Way, it's not laziness. When you're feeling blocked, you don't need the extra arrow of laziness lobbed upon you. No. Sure, I may as well continue with some bit of collage for that other boat. My glue is swiftly running out. I need to order more. I've got a flower painting workshop at the weekend. There's still a few spots actually, and it's an in-person workshop, imagine. So if anyone from Edinburgh is keen to join us, just drop me a line, send me an email or something. We're going to be doing this kind of thing but with flowers, and it's always and ever very joyful in my view anyway. Okay, and it'll be especially nice working back with other people again, you know, just in the same room making a painting. This is for the bottom half of the dark bottom half of the boat over there on the left. And then this other boat here has got more of a cerulean feel to it. Got a whole load of cerulean on this. You would think it was a load, but it's not. On that piece of paper, kitchen paper, I load it up again now, put more on. And I'm just going to use the cerulean blue on the palette to capture the shadow side of that boat anyway. Maybe I'll put a bit of brown and blue into it to darken it a little bit more over there. Ultramarine blue and Van Dyke brown are the two colours I used for the dark there. Okay. Alright now, so what next I wonder? I stuck that bit of blue across there for the cabin, you maybe noticed. And there's a thin line, you know, it's funny, I can feel myself wanting to not do too much here. Well, there's a few things driving me here now, wanting to not do too much to the painting, so that it retains a bit of life. Wanting to not cop out because I'm feeling like I want to have tea and cake, but because the painting doesn't need any more work, you know. So there's a little bit of a battle there around those two things. I don't know if you get me really. I'm not sure I get myself about that. But you know that it matters. It's not that I'm stopping because I want to have a break, but that I'm stopping because there's no more to be said. So I'm just following moment by moment to the best of my ability what feels like it needs to happen next. Okay. Right. It's a funny thing working from a photo, isn't it? I think maybe there's a little bit of floundering here now. And I was thinking that maybe if I was in situ I might end up, well, let's say the next thing I might do actually, if I was out there in front of these boats, might be to paint those windows. All I'm looking for is my masking tape. Here it is, sitting beside me. Because I want to outline, it's a bank holiday today, so Lily's off school. I want to outline the windows there so that I'm not going to create. Is that you, Lily? Or Erin? Lily. Okay. I don't want to I don't want the windows, you know, I want them to stay nice and straightish. I think I made that one a little bit big. There we are. And I might even do something here. Lily, every time. Honestly, people will tune in knowing that the soundtrack would be a burp.
That's such a little... Oh my god, that's
yeah,
so bad.
Uncouth is what
that's
it is.
So bad. Oh, it's uncool.
Uncouth. Do you know that word?
Do you know what?
Lily, do you know I went to
do
deportment
what?
classes when I
Do
was
what?
17? That's
What?
how I'm so ladylike.
What?
I went to deportment classes in school when I was 17.
Deportment classes?
Yeah, like how to walk and how to like you know,
Why
put
did you
makeup
do
on
that?
things. It's part
Okay.
of what we were. See, you wouldn't say that if you had been to those classes. You would listen politely to your elders.
Oh.
Okay, just don't say anything off. Now this is a professional video because this is actually one of the ones.
Oh, you're really professional.
This is one of the ones for the people on the course, Lily. So
No.
if you look on YouTube, you'll see a fair few cameo appearances from Lily. on those videos that are not professional like this one is. So she's not going to make a...
So professional.
She's not going to do anything out of it.
Professional. Love the backdrop for the room. It's really professional.
I know, I need to do... do you know, I'm actually looking for a new studio. I tore off bits there now, but I think it's okay. I mean, I'd like a really big, airy, open studio space. And then I would move on from where I am. Okay, Lily, don't start making loads of noise now, please. Right, so I've got a patterned collage paper there too. Could use. This is new origami that came in the post. Yeah, please do. Yeah, no more belching either.
What?
Lily, stop. Oh, right. Okay, sorry about that. Those of you who are offended by belching, which actually is very understandable. No. I'm just peeling the back off this origami paper because the stuff I got is a little bit thick. And I want it not to be so thick there. I quite like thin collage paper that sits well back and allows you to paint over it.